Welcome back to Trad Rod and Custom. I'm Oliver, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Harbor Freight English wheel. Now previously on the channel we modified this English wheel. We gave it better stability, we raised it up a little bit for a better working height. Now one of the most common questions I see asked on the internet is, where do I get my lower anvils? Harbor Freight stopped selling them, and I don't believe Harbor Freight's even still producing this wheel, although a lot of locations still have one, and I see them for sale pretty frequently. So today, what we're going to be addressing is what lower anvils will fit on your Harbor Freight English wheel. How much they cost, what comes in the package, and really the versatility and what you're able to do with this tool. You're not going to want to miss this one. Let's get into it. So the lower anvils that I ordered are made by Eastwood. That comes with the 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, and 8-inch lower anvils. A lot of guys want to know on Eastwood's website, all over, in the comments on our last English wheel video, they want to know, what can I buy that's just going to fit? I don't want to have to modify it. I don't want to have to customize it. What's just going to work right out of the box? Well, as is honestly the case with Eastwood, they sell a lot of Chinese-made goods. They sell a lot of imported stuff. That's how they keep their prices down, and they try to produce a pretty good quality product, but they just do. It comes from China. That's where it comes from. I want you guys to take a look at something. This factory Harbor Freight lower anvil that comes with the English wheel. Here's an Eastwood. It even has the same bearing number on it. I guarantee you these are made in the same factory that these were, and it's simple. You buy them, you drop them in. They work, they fit, they're perfect. There's no wiggle, there's no wobble, there's no nothing. It's easy. So that's the answer. That's the easiest answer is you buy the Eastwood lower anvil kit. Now that runs about $220. It's a little bit steeper than Harbor Freight's $98 or whatever they used to charge for the exact same lower anvil kit. Another drawback, you get 4. You don't get 6 like Harbor Freight used to do. So for $98, Harbor Freight used to sell 6 lower anvils. Now you get 4 of those lower anvils for $220. I know, that seems a little outlandish. And we are in a recession, and we're dealing with some interesting times for pricing on goods. You tend to only see those prices go one way, though, and it end down. Now, with all of that said, go online and do a little Google searching and price out what I would say a middle level. This is an entry level. Go check out a middle level English wheel and see what that runs you. I tell you, just for the frame and just to get started, you're in the $8, $9, $1,200 range minimum. Sometimes that's the used price. If you want to get into a professional high level cast framed English wheel, you're talking 10 grand. Now, do you have to do that? No, you don't. The number of professional fabricators, high-level fabricators who I've seen have this very English wheel in their shop, I promise, you don't need that $10,000 English wheel. Now, that's cool. It won't flex on you. It might make things a little easier. But to tell you the truth, for automotive use, like what I do, this is fine. I don't ever have to wheel more than 18 gauge, thicker than 18 gauge. I never have to go to 16, not that I'm wheeling. So for 18 gauge and 20 gauge, this thing doesn't flex anyway. I've seen guys do the mods, you know, where they'll brace up the spine and they'll do an angled piece down, kind of like the Mittler Brothers design. They'll do an angled brace down with a couple of angled braces off the back. That'll keep it from flexing. That'll keep it from doing this. Not so much this, but it'll keep it from doing this. Now, do you need it though? No, you really don't. I've wheeled out a bunch of panels with this thing. It works just fine. And furthermore, with just the beginning wheel, the beginning anvil here, it's got a lot of crown. But if you're careful, and if you use really light pressure and take your time, you can use this steep crown and you can put softer contours into panels. It's doable. It's nice to have what you're after though. And one drawback is that's just for adding contour. Sometimes you'll use your wheel to beat out dents, wobbles, hammer marks. You're wheeling out imperfections. In those instances, this does not work because your contact is only this little bit here. And you need a flatter wheel to help you have more consistent contact, because in those instances you're not really putting contour in the panel, you're really planishing. But instead of hammering, you're wheeling it. You're flattening. So this is an appropriate upgrade. That's why I spent the $220 plus shipping to get them here. Now, that said, the finish, I would say the finish on these is about identical to the Harbor Freight. And where I'm getting with that is, out of the box, these things, you can wheel with them. They'll work. But they're not as polished as they should be. And if you really want to have that English wheel effect, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if you want to have that English wheel effect where your panel comes out almost polished looking, you got to polish your wheels. You got to be careful how you do it. You can ruin them. You can put flat spots in. You got to learn how to dress these things. And the way you dress them is by using very fine grit sandpaper and polish. There are 2 Harbor Freight English wheels as well. You guys have got to be aware of that, especially in the used market as you're looking. This is the upgraded Harbor Freight version. The first version, the one that has all the bad flex that everybody really had issues with, has a curve, a continual curve here. It also does not have this little snugger option, which allows you to add tension. It allows you to have this low enough to fit your sheet in, and then add tension and remove it, add and remove. Now, one thing I will say about this is if you're not careful with it, that can flip right open and you can drop your freshly polished lower anvil right to the ground, and that's not fun. Fun about that, it can hit your toe, it can ruin your polish job, it can seriously mar your lower anvil, and like I just said, they're expensive now. So one of the things I want to do is I want to reincorporate this rack. Now that we have some extra anvils to hang on it, we replaced the back leg, which is where this mounts. So we need to find a new way of mounting it. Now we have an option, we can mount it here. Could also mount it here. I know that a lot of the nicer English wheels, they mount them way out here. So maybe that's our best bet. But got a few options. So we got there, here, and we got here. I kind of like this one. I kind of like up on the spine here. I think that's a good location. It's out of the way. You're not going to hit it. I'm not too worried about the bracing, because I don't think we're going to end up bracing this one, not for what we do. If we do though, unbolt it. We're going to drill and tap holes. We're going to use bolts. We can unbolt it and we can weld on a brace. But I like this location. This is what we're going to go with for our carrier. First we'll find a couple bolts that fit in these holes. I don't really want to have to drill this any bigger. I like having my bolts match. Allen key bolt. Different though. Now these come with a little bit of like almost a cosmoline or something on them. Gotta clean that off. I'll use a wax and grease remover. I'm just setting them in here to get the visual effect because we're gonna pull it back off, strip this thing down, and throw a little paint on it. Truth, I'm pretty happy with that. Just changes things up a little bit, personalizes it a little bit. Really cleans everything up. Country Boy Gas Garage. Go subscribe. So what I'd like to do real quick at the end of this video is I'd like to demonstrate to you the reasons to get other lower English wheel dies. So the reason to get these lower anvils that are flatter and have less of an arc to them. So what I'm going to demonstrate to you real quick is just some hammer strikes on this thing, and then we're going to try to get the hammer strikes out. It's just a little scrap piece of metal. Let's put some strike marks in this. I'm hitting it with the edge of the hammer, putting some dents in. So you can see we have a nice little collection of damage. So now I've got the 8-inch lower on here. We're going to spin her on up and get it close. Like that. And we're just going to add a little tension with our adjuster. And we're just going to start working. And what slowly starts happening is those marks get driven back out. Here it's clicking less. As we go along, it's less and less raised, and it's getting more and more uniform. Now I am putting crown in this because this is an 8. It's not flat, but you can see those have almost completely smoothed out now. And that is a way that you can also give yourself a head start. Now, I would recommend using something like the oak stump I've got over there with some contour ground in it to hammer and get some of that initial stretch. But this is a good way to get a head start if you're trying to put a hard contour into something. Of course, in that instance, you wouldn't necessarily want to use this wide 8. You'd want to use something a little bit sharper, more of a severe angle like a 4 or a 3. Getting quieter and quieter. Anyway, one of the many advantages. That's pretty much going to do it for this video, though. Main thing I wanted to cover is answering the big question: will the English wheel dies from Eastwood fit? Yes, they will. I can't speak as to the ones from Jags or anybody else, but these ones fit. I believe there are some on Amazon as well. Not sure if those fit. Also not sure if you could order some of those and perhaps just swap out the axle it rides on to get yourself close. Get yourself, you can steal the hardened wheel and put the axle in to make it fit. I don't know anything about that. I don't know if it works or not. Just ideas. The end result is Eastwood lower anvils do fit. They're worth the money. Make sure you dress them. I have not yet. I will be dressing upper wheel and lower wheels as soon as I'm done shooting this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Drop me a comment. If you have any critiques, go ahead and let me know. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll be back on the Roadster. Yes, the Roadster is back together. Gas tank's got to go in. New front tires got to go on. Got to make the header for the other side. Got to design and build a shifter and an accelerator pedal. But we've got brakes. The body's getting bolted down. We might be driving soon. You guys are going to not want to miss that one for sure. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.